you want to do things right? To keep up with keeping your lives tight. Tight as in being right with the truth of true insight. Who of you want to do things right? Who of you want to truly succeed in attaining all in that which is your need? To be heard by the real answerer of all deeds, the true hero of all whom pleads. Who of you really want to bow down to the true King of Kings commanding the crown? To worship the one that ever rules alone, commanding everything of creation from the seat of its throne.
May Ahezaah's peace and blessings be within about your presence. I know I've been gone for a while, about 2 months, right? It's about 2 or 3 months we've been doing reruns. And I to my audience, I want to say I hope that you've been enjoying the reruns, being able to rehear the things that I've been saying through the years, and taking note. And for the most part, one of the things, I don't know how far the reruns go back, but taking note and recognizing the prophecy about things that was to come, that had been spoken about, years ago on the show, and what we, what Ahezaah had given me to put in the books. I'm happy to say that even though I've been on vacation from the show, I could call it a vacation, but really I've been working very hard. I've had death all around me. A minister that I appreciate very much, Brother A.H.A.D. He was a Christian minister. Never knew one like him in my life. He was a believer of truth. He went beyond the semantics of the religion, Christianity and other religions. And he spoke truth, and he bowed to truth, and he never tried to raise a prophet up with the Lord L. Excuse that sound, that's coming from outside. But I figured it was necessary for me to, at least break in and do a show because I haven't done any in a while. But I've been on the internet. We have an internet show that are part of this show. We play our recordings off of this show. Is it possible that we could close that window to break down some of that sound? Okay, thank you. And I have a blog. I've had those things set up before. We didn't have those things, but we got a what you call that? What we got?
Global Revelations.
We got the station. It's
Ahezaah.com.
Ahezaah.com, and if you go to Ahezaah.com, you get all the information. What to say? Say it out. Yeah, I'll take care of that. You'll get all the information like this show, and what I put in the blog. I try to put something in the blog if that's Ahezaah's will every day. But I get tired sometimes, But so far I think I've gotten upwards to 44 blogs. I think we had 40 that we put out, I believe, and I got 4 more in the kitty, so to speak. But I'm continuing to write and give these messages about what's going on in the world. But it's really interesting to me, the fact of the matter of all these things, all these signs of the time of Revelation, the time of the apocalypse that's going on now. And I see so many people quiet, and they're acting as though these things are not going down. Or not so much that they're not going down, but that they're not associated with what was prophesied for the day. People get up in arms when things happen. They start saying, do you think this is a sign of Revelation, the apocalypse? And then a week later, it's like back to normal. My question is, who's going to surrender to Ahezaah? Who's going to bow down and try to help me give out this message? I am the messenger, the chosen one, the so-called Black Messiah. For 32 years. Today is actually the 32nd year, my birthday, spiritual birthday. And it's like, people don't want truth. They want what one of them performers said, what they call that? The feel good lies, and that's the truth. But those of you who know how to spell Ahezaah, you follow us, it's Ahezaah.com. Throw that down on the internet and you'll get me. You plug me up. You can go Revelation. What is it? Global Revelation. Come on. .blogspot.com. And the other one is I think that's it, because we're gonna do something with the Facebook. Now, some of the people who are inspired by the things I've said, they believe in what they hear. They investigate, and their heart is there. They want to help and put out things. What I say to you is that, like the Hindus said 5,000 years ago, when I turned 58, the public, the international war would start against me. And now I've had a situation where people were getting viruses, and they have the virus control things on their computer, and Facebook had turned off, cut one of the persons out, saying that we were offensive, but then put it back on, And the thing about it is that it's not so much we're being offensive negatively. We're bringing the truth. We're bringing the truth, and they don't want to hear the truth. You have to understand that the powerful men in the jinn, those men that are more powerful than those who are out there. And they're controlling things. They want to be masters of control. They want to control everybody's life. And I told people many years ago, they're going to take us to Nazism. They're going to take us to where's what they call that, when martial law. They've already tried stopping people at certain city lines and county lines when they're on buses, but there was an uproar about it, and they kind of cooled that down. But they're still moving, monitoring your lives in every way they can, peeking into your private lives, making media equipment that can look into your homes and your rooms at night, all over your house, and the government is right with them, right behind them, doing these types of things. I mean, allowing these types of things to happen. Oh, of course they put their hands like this here. I'm not guilty, but they're allowing it. The government, it's guilty if it allows these things to happen. Because they are the law of the land. The lawmakers and the protectors of the law. They are the executioners of the law. They got the power in their hands that the people was given to them to do what's right or do what's wrong. And in most cases, mankind do what's wrong. So those people I look at Facebook and I see so many offensive things on it, but they had time to say that the things that we say on this program and what I've written in the blogs, and you could go check the blogs out at Ahezaah.com for yourselves, which like I said, some of my helpers put them on Facebook, and look to see how offensive they are. If it's offensive, if the truth is offensive, then I'm offensive. I know that many people are offended by me. You want to say something? I know that many people are offended by me, by what I say, but this I must say. I'm not in charge of myself. Those of you who have followed me have heard me say this before. I'm not in charge of myself, and I'm not going to try to act like I'm in charge of myself. You know, people have recovered Jesus and try to make Jesus be as powerful as the Lord El. You know, they try to praise Muhammad and say he is one worthy of praise that is due to Allah. You know, they've raised other prophets and made them deities, made them gods, and made them mythical gods because, you know, because of the untruths that they've surrounded them in. You know, I'm not going to allow anyone, as long as I live, as long as I'm aware of it, to raise me up in praise, give me credit for my words or my actions, my deeds. I'm not doing it because I am a meek, weak, humbled human being. Compared to Gabriel, I'm basically nothing. And Gabriel is nothing to Allah. So I'm not taking any credit for anything. Gabriel don't like me saying that. Gabriel don't like me comparing him to anything, or it to anything, I should say. But I do it sometimes, you know, just in trying to give you a picture of myself, you know. But Gabriel is the first that will tell you all praise is due to Allah. That they was wrong for saying Muhammad was worthy of praise and making that be his name instead of one who praises much. They said he was worthy of praise, and his name was Muhammad, not Muhammad. You understand? And Allah has straightened that out. You know. So, you know, I don't want to be that kind of person, you know, in your eyesight. And also, I had a brother who was a very sincere, strong brother, you know, who came to my camp. And there were people in my camp who, because of their own weaknesses and their own hypocrisy and their own deceit, they wanted to rout this brother out. And this brother, being a strong man, he came and he posed the same problem I always have when I get strong men. They misunderstand my strength. They don't understand that my strength is El. They don't understand. They look at me and they see me being a meek person. They see me being soft and compassionate and kind and let a lot of things go down because Ahezaah Allah says, don't do anything. Let that happen. And then they want to take over. And this brother from Newark, a beautiful brother, name was Jason. He came and he didn't have enough patience and he couldn't hold himself out. And he couldn't follow my instructions. And he went on a rampage. And because he's seen some things that wasn't right by the people who are my helpers. And I have warned him. Just like I warn anybody and everybody, I'm not going to sit here and try to act like I got people that's holier than thou. I got people that's helping me and they got problems. One of the most difficult things to do is walk with the messenger. Is to be a part of the messenger's life. Why? Because I'm not going to stand for any of your faults. I'm not going to act like they don't exist. I don't stand for my own. I raise nothing up as equal to Ahezaah. Nothing. And Ahezaah is Allah, El, Hu, Amen, the Christ. You know? It's all those things. So this brother, in his anger, he said that he know me. And this happened last year. But I'm just bringing it up now because I'm hoping that he's cooled down enough. I know he sent me an apology. If he's watching the show, I want to let him know that I recognize his apology. And, you know, I say, may Ahezaah's peace and blessings be with him about his presence and, you know, and what have you. But he said he knew me by the people that I was dealing with. as though I had control of them. See, Ahezaah has control of me. It commands me to do everything. It masters me. It owns me. It makes me do what I do, everything that I do. It has taken me wholly unto itself. That means completely unto itself. So I have no choice in the matters of my life. It's been like this for 32 years now. I've stood up to people talking about cutting my head off, coming into my office, public office in gangs, Muslim gangs, thought that I want to steal Allah from them and their words and their hadiths and whatever, and try to take people for myself until they found out that I was not trying to do any of those things. I don't even refer to Allah as Allah. I refer to it as Ahezaah. The Lord said in the book of Revelation that I would know the new name. I would have it on my being. And the new name of the Lord El is Ahezaah, for the Lord of the throne. And as you look around in the world, you see all these signs of the time of now, what's going down now. And Ahezaah said in the book of Revelation, and it said to me in the divine book of recitation, for you all, which I have yet to be able to publish, because I'm not a rich man, is that man will destroy the world by his own hands, and people don't even want to recognize that. Ahezaah is destroying it by nature, by other creatures, and by the hands of man. And all those things that they've said in the book of Revelation about the waters being spoiled and overcome, and the land being spoiled, and and different things where the angels was emptying the vials on the land, and the plagues and all. You look around, all that stuff is happening. You could act as though it's not, and you could say, I don't like the way he say it, but I'm saying it. This is the day, this is the time of revelation. The messenger is here, I'm the messenger. The Christ has come down. It's been proven. If you look into my work, you'll see for yourself that the Lion of Judah was Samuel and not Jesus. The lion was the warrior. Jesus was the lamb. And Jesus was not a forefather of David. He was a son of David. So they have lied and misconstrued and did all kinds of things to turn you away from the truth. The ones that got the worst are the Christians. They got them worse than the Muslims. Now the Muslims is following in the ways of the Christians, who follow in the ways of the Catholicists, who follow in the ways of the Hindus and the Buddhists and what have you. People say, well, the Buddhists okay. How are they okay when they claiming to be gods themselves? Claiming to be masters of their own enlightenment. Claiming to be free and liberated from the reality of being, as though they are the reality. No matter what language, no matter they come in the Vedas, Upanishads, the book of the African, of the dead, any books. If you translate them properly, you'll find that it is the Lord El saying the same thing, giving the same warnings, reminding of the same self, of its supreme self that is to be preserved by its law of nature, the first law of nature. Nature is to preserve itself. And what we do as human beings, we despoil those things. We don't want to preserve, we don't want to follow the first law of nature and preserve the self. We want to preserve us. The self is El. That's the one it was talking about preserving. And we should preserve that in our language, in our acts, in memory of it, and all that we do of our deeds. We should preserve it by letting the people know that it is present at all places, at all times, although it is unseen. And so many people don't want to believe in it being unseen, but let me tell you something. A sight of it could kill a mind. A sight of its beauty or a sight of its terror, each can kill a mind, destroy a mind. So in its mercy, it stays unseen. It don't give you anything to look at and say, that's it. Because anything you see will be less than it. Can you see the infinity? Some men trying to see the ends of eternity, the universal eternal world. But can you imagine seeing the whole of infinity in one picture of it? Anything you consider as beautiful to the height of your mind or terrifying to the height of your mind, it will be more than that. It creates that. So why would it be so merciless to show its creatures something that would destroy them? We couldn't handle it. When it talked about Muhammad receiving the Holy Quran, it said if it put it down on a mountain, it would have flattened the mountain. A lot of people don't understand that. Literally, its word is flattening mountains. Its words is flattening the earth. You think that the earth is being the upheaval of the earth is going without the word of the Lord? It says be done. Boom, there it is. Its words are manifested in its powers. Its powers are its angels, its attributes. They work inside its attributes. It empowers them. And its empowerment is not an independent thing. When it gives it to them, it don't give them independence of it. It is still working through them. That's why all praise is due to it for everything. Because it is the power of life. But it gives us all these things to live and to be incorrect about and to be right about and, run around a cage of life like a little lab rat to give us life. And we can't appreciate that. So many of us can't appreciate it. We want to run and become gods. Now, there's a war going on. A world war that you don't really know about. And that world war is the war between the Antichrist, which is the jinn, powerful men, against me, against the angels, against the unseen El. Don't think for a moment they don't recognize me being here, even though they will not say anything about me. As quiet as kept, if they don't have an answer for the truth, they don't even mention it. If they had an answer for me, they would have me up in billboards and everywhere to defame me. They'd have me on the news. My picture and my name. Yeah, this guy think he's the prophet of Allah. Today's prophet. But I don't think for a moment they're not searching and looking for some way, somehow to take me down. And I know the signs. And I feel them and I see them. But you need to know it. Most of the African American people don't believe. The disbelievers amongst the Caucasians, the people in power, they believe. The devils always believe in first. Those who are in power. The doers of evil. And when I say that, I mean the greatest doers of evil. Because all mankind are doers of evil. All mankind are with devils within their minds. In their egos. In the compartments of their minds. We as human beings are part angel and part animal. Ahezaah created us in that manner. And when we leave this world, we go up into our spiritual or angelic being. And we are the lowest of the angels in that spiritual realm. If you want to call us angels. But we are the humans, the essence of minds in the lowest level. And you get all kinds of mankind. mind. Man meaning mind. You got all creatures with intellect, all creatures with minds. They are mankind's. But of the humankind, that's us. The mankind. Now, the enemies of the Lord know that terminology, and they have taken it and they have twisted it and they've made it one word, so you don't even know what you're saying. And you say all humankind. You saying 3 words. Mind, kind. The essence of mind's kind. You know? So these are parts of the seals that I've been raised to open, to break, to loosen, as they say in the book of Revelation, to loosen the book of seals, the 7 seals, and what have you. You know, do I enjoy doing it? I can't put nothing on it. I can't weigh it. You know, in the moment, one moment I may enjoy it, and another moment I'm saddened because I look at people who are not taking hold, or I look at people I've dealt with for the past 30-something years or even longer that just can't seem to bow down to the Lord El. And sometimes it have disturbed me. But as I said earlier in the show, one of the hardest things to do is to walk with me, because I see things in a different light of truth.
Who of you want to do things right? To keep up with keeping your lives tight. Tight as in being right with the truth of true insight. Who of you want to do things right? Who of you